Is on adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those in favor say no. No. It's the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it and the resolution is agreed to, and without objection the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. On this vote, the ayes are 218, the nays are 211, with one answering present. The resolution is adopted.
It's understandable why the author of this censure doesn't know what is up and what is down, because obviously someone who wants to talk about crime supports a former president currently running for president that is facing 91 federal and state indictments.
Before we get into this, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who still believes standards matter, and subscribe to Stateline for more videos like this. Now listen closely. This wasn't a shouting match. This wasn't chaos. This wasn't revenge. This was Congress quietly doing something Washington hasn't done in a long time, enforcing consequences. No theatrics. No mob. Just a vote, a record, and accountability catching up.
Voice will not be diminished if I am not on this committee for one term. My voice will get louder and stronger, and my leadership will be celebrated around the world as it has been.
And tonight I have a suggestion for the hate-filled extremists who are constantly trying to tear our country down. They never have anything good to say. That's why I say, hey, if they don't like it, let them leave. Let them leave. Let them leave. They're always telling us how to run it, how to do this, how to do. You know what? If they don't love it, tell them to leave it. Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
We've heard about the comments that were made regarding anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli views, but I rise to add to the record that as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I've sat there and heard the representative actually spew anti-American rhetoric as well. I've been in that committee room where the representative equates Israel and the United States to Hamas and the Taliban. Absolutely unacceptable for a member of that committee. I've also heard the representative equate that it is the United States' fault that there is turmoil in Venezuela, that is not because of the oppressive socialist and communism that has spread throughout Central and South America in Venezuela at the hands of the Maduro and Hugo Chavez regimes. That is unacceptable. And as a New York representative, to hear the representative belittle, to try to diminish the worst terrorist attack on United States soil on September 11, 2001, as some people did something, that is unacceptable as well. And I hold the same standard for this side of the aisle that I do the other, because when another colleague on my side said something about 9/11, I also voted to have her removed from the Education Committee because I thought that was inappropriate. So I'm being consistent here, and I hope my colleagues will do the same to show that this is about consistency and accountability, because we should not have an individual with those views on the committee that is tasked with representing our country and our Congress to foreign nations.
Censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Whereas elected members of Congress take an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar took an oath of allegiance to the United States upon becoming a citizen, declaring, "I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen. Whereas on January 27, 2024, Representative Omar gave remarks at an event in Minneapolis in which she made treasonous statements. Whereas Representative Omar said she has spoken to many Somalians who asked her to intercede for the Somali government by pressuring the United States government into certain actions. Whereas Representative Omar assured the Somalians she spoke to, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. Whereas Representative Omar continued, for as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Whereas George Washington warned in his farewell address of 1796 to guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism, and further declared citizens by birth or choice of a common country, that country has a right to concentrate your affections. The name of American, which belongs to you in your national capacity, must always exalt the just pride of patriotism more than any appellation derived from local discriminations. Whereas these statements by Representative Omar clearly violate the oath she took as an elected member of Congress to defend and protect the United States Constitution. Whereas Representative Omar has exhibited the treasonous tendencies George Washington warned about, and her actions must be condemned by all members of Congress who adhere to the oath they took upon assuming office.
Censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota and removing her from the Committee on Education and Workforce and the Committee on the Budget. Whereas Charlie Kirk was a lifelong advocate for freedom of speech, civil political discourse, and the political engagement of youth. Whereas Charlie Kirk was a man of deep faith, a husband and a father to 2 young children. Whereas on September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk was assassinated on the campus of Utah Valley University while exercising his First Amendment right to freedom of speech. Whereas on September 11, 2025, one day after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, Representative Ilhan Omar gave an interview on Zateo's town hall with Mehdi Hassan in which she smeared Charlie Kirk and implied he was to blame for his own murder. Whereas on September 12, 2025, 2 days after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, Representative Ilhan Omar reposted a video on X, formerly known as Twitter, which disparaged the character of Charlie Kirk and those mourning his death. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X states Charlie Kirk is dead, and before the body got cold, the far right propped his corpse up as a cudgel for their holy war. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further states, don't be fooled. These people don't give a single shit about Charlie Kirk. They are just using his death to further their Christo-fascist agenda. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further states Charlie Kirk was a reprehensible human being. He enacted his political agenda by preying on weak-minded people. He took complex socioeconomic issues and simplified them by pointing fingers at outgroups, demonizing those groups, and sicking his massive following on them. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further states Charlie Kirk was a stochastic terrorist, an adamant transphobe. He denied the genocide happening in Palestine. He believed the subjugation of women, and in his last dying words, he was spewing racist dog whistles. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further states Charlie Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein, and his monster shot him through the neck. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further blames Charlie Kirk for his own murder. Whereas Clause 1 of Rule 13 of the Rules of the House of Representatives provides a member delegate resident commissioner, officer, or employee of the House shall behave at all times in a manner that shall reflect credibility on the House.
The House of Representatives just voted to censure Ilhan Omar and remove her from key committee assignments, and the media wants you to believe this came out of nowhere. That it's some kind of partisan ambush. That Republicans suddenly woke up angry. That story falls apart the moment you look at the record. This vote was 218 to 211. That's not a stunt. That's a majority of the people elected to represent the United States saying something fundamental was broken. Committee power is not a right. It's trust. And Republicans decided that trust had been violated one too many times. Nicole Malliotakis laid it out plainly. This wasn't about disagreement. It was about language, loyalty, and limits. She described hearing Ilhan Omar equate the United States and Israel with terrorist organizations. She described Omar blaming America for chaos caused by socialist regimes. She reminded the chamber that minimizing 9/11 as some people did something is not a policy critique, it's a moral failure. And here's what the media won't tell you. Malliotakis made clear she's applied the same standard to members of her own party. When a Republican crossed the line on September 11th, she voted to remove them from committee assignments too. That matters, because this isn't about party. It's about boundaries. The resolution went even further, citing statements where Omar suggested she would use her position in Congress to protect Somalia's interests from inside the U.S. system. Not advocate, not debate, protect. Republicans say that directly contradicts the oath of office, an oath that requires allegiance to the United States above all else. George Washington warned about this exact problem. Divided loyalty, pretended patriotism, the danger of officials who blur the line between representing America and advancing foreign interests. That warning wasn't abstract. Republicans argue it applies here right now. Then there's the Charlie Kirk controversy. After his assassination, Omar amplified content that critics say blamed him for his own death and smeared his character before the country could even grieve. Republicans say leaders are supposed to cool tensions in moments like that, not escalate them. Dignity matters. Timing matters. Responsibility matters. Here's the key point the outrage machine ignores. Ilhan Omar was not removed from Congress. She still has her seat. She still has her vote. She still represents her district. What she lost was committee power, because committees are about representing America to the world. If you work for a company and repeatedly went public attacking its legitimacy, undermining its mission, and equating it with its worst enemies, you wouldn't be promoted. You'd be sidelined. That's not censorship. That's accountability. Nancy Mace framed it as decorum. Marjorie Taylor Greene framed it as House rules. President Trump framed it as gratitude and loyalty. Different voices, same message. America allows criticism. But America does not owe authority to people who consistently portray her as the villain. This moment matters beyond Ilhan Omar. It signals a shift. For years, outrage was rewarded. Provocation was currency. Now Republicans are saying leadership requires restraint, clarity, and respect for the country you serve. Minnesota voters are watching. The country is watching. And Washington just sent a message that committee power is earned, and it can be taken away. When standards disappear, institutions rot. When boundaries vanish, chaos fills the space. This vote wasn't about silencing anyone. It was about reminding Congress what it stands for. Because a nation that refuses to defend its own credibility won't keep it for long.